Hello, periods 1, 2, and 3. For those of you who are out today, we are starting a new lesson. We are going to discuss how to find the area of a triangle. You probably may have started this at the end of last year, possibly. Okay, so this may or may not be new. Triangles. Here we go. If you look carefully, okay, a triangle is half of a rectangle or a half of a square. So if I have a rectangle and you cut off half of it, you see the triangle. Or if you have a square and we cut half of it, you see a triangle. Okay, so the formula for a triangle, which we always write on line 1, is 1/2 base times height. Some people will say base times height divided by 2. That's because you guys know that if you are multiplying something by 1/2 or multiplying it or dividing it by 2, that is the same thing. Dividing by 2 or multiplying it by 1/2 is the same thing. Okay, one moment. Okay, so on this first one, if you look at the triangle, the base, what it is sitting on is 5 inches. The height, straight up and down, do not use diagonals, is 8. We can go ahead and substitute in for the rest here. I always do base times height first. Base times height. 5 times 8 is 40. And then we're finding half of 40. Half of 40 is 20. So we're going to say 20 inches squared. Now, just to prove it, if I do 1/2 times 40 over 1, fraction times a whole number, put your whole number over 1, multiply straight across, we get 40 over 2. What's 40 divided by 2? 20. Okay. Alrighty. Look at this next one. The triangle has been rotated, so you need to kind of think about what is the base, what is the height. Let's start with the formula, 1/2 base times height. Base, what is it sitting on? It is sitting on over here, okay? The base is 5. The height, remember, it is never a diagonal, it's straight up and down. The height is 12. All right, I always do base times height first. 5 times 12 is 60. Half of 60 is 30. And we're going to put units squared because it doesn't have a label. So base times height, divide it in half. Figure out what half of that is. Okay, A and B do not have any shapes, okay? It's just telling you. It says must show all 3 lines. We're going to start with the formula, a triangle, 1/2 base times height. It tells us the base is 10, the height is 14. 10 times 14 is 140. What is half of 140? Meaning 140 divided by 2. Half of 140 or 140 divided by 2 is 70. It is centimeters squared. You try the next one, pause the video, then unpause. Let's see how you do. We're going to start with the formula, 1/2 base times height. Base, substitute in 7, height, substitute in 12. 12 times 7 is 84. And I got to do 84 divided by 2. Half of 84 would be 42 centimeters squared. Okay. Okie dokie. It says, are these still the same formula? Guys, every single one of those shapes is a triangle. It's just been rotated on its side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find the area of all three. Area, 1/2 base times height. Base is the bottom, what it's sitting on. So the base is 6. The height straight up and down is 8. Base times height gives me 48, but we have to do half of 48, or 48 divided by 2, which is 24 meters squared. B, still a triangle, 1/2 base times height. It's been kind of rotated on its side. The base is 8, the height is 11. Base times height would give me 88, and half of 88, or 88 divided by 2, would be 44 millimeters squared. Same thing for C. Okay, still a triangle. The base is what it's sitting on, 10. The height is straight up and down. We do not use a diagonal if it were to give it to us to try to mess us up. 10 base, height 17. I always do base times height first. 10 times 17 is 170. Okay, what is half of 170? 85, I believe. Yep, 85 centimeters squared. Okay, on the back side, area of the triangles. Again, so some of these, they may have the grids in the back. And again, it's hard to count them because some of them are halves or not a full square. So it's hard to count the amount of space inside. That one it's not, it's 9. But over here, some of the squares are cut in half, okay? So again, on number 1, the area, length times width, 3 by 3 is 9 units squared. Remember that a triangle is half of a square, a rectangle, or a parallelogram. Let's, if we cut half of it, that's what we're doing next. So formula, 1/2 base times height. The base, 3. The height, 3. Base times height, 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, what is half of 9? Guys, you're gonna have a decimal, and that's okay. Half of 9 is 4. Add your decimal and 0, 0.5. 4.5 is half of 9, right? That makes sense. So area is 4.5 units squared. So think about this. You have the full square over here on number 1. The full square is 9. When you make a triangle and cut it in half, the area is half the amount. Half of 9 is 4.5. Let's look at the rectangle. Area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should be able to already imagine what half of 8 is. Okay, if we cut this rectangle in half, which, I mean, I would have done it a different way. It would have looked more like this. Either way, it still makes a triangle. Base times height divided in half. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the base. Remember, height, tip top, straight down. There's 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Half of 8 is 4 units squared. Okay, so over here it was 8. Half of it is 4. Okay, and then let's look at this fifth one. Area of this larger rectangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You should be thinking, what is half of 15? 15 is not an even number, so it's going to be a decimal. Again, if I look at this rectangle and I make it into a triangle by cutting it in half, you're going to see this one over here. When I count the base, I have 1, 2, 3 units. When I count the height, tip top, point, straight down, I get 5. What's 5 times 3? 15. And I need to find half of 15, or 15 divided by 2. So 7 goes in with, you have to add a decimal and a 0. So we have 7.5. So area is 7.5 square units. Again, half of 15 is 7.5. Okay, periods 1, 2, and 3. That was area of a triangle notes. What you are going to start now and finish for your virtual assignment tomorrow is that box page 163. Make sure you have your textbook downloaded so you can see the problems, okay? So box page 160, 163, you're going to start it now and finish it for virtual tomorrow.